Imagine a ship sailing across the open Atlantic Ocean. The sea is calm. The wind is steady. The crew is experienced. Everything is normal. And then, nothing. Days later, another ship finds it drifting aimlessly. Sails intact. Cargo untouched. Food still on the tables. The crew's personal belongings still inside. But the people? Gone. No distress signal. No lifeboats. No struggle. No explanation. Just an empty ship, moving silently across the ocean. This is the story of one of the greatest maritime mysteries in human history. The legend of the Mary Celeste. And more than 150 years later, we still do not know what happened. Chapter 1, A Ship Built for the Sea. The Mary Celeste was not an unlucky vessel. She was not old. She was not unsafe. She was a solid merchant brigantine built in 1861 in Nova Scotia. Originally named the Amazon, she was later renamed the Mary Celeste after being sold to new owners. She was a 282-ton ship designed for transatlantic trade. Strong. Reliable. Capable. And by all accounts, completely ordinary. She carried cargo between Europe and North America. She had experienced captains. She had survived storms. She had sailed thousands of miles without incident. Nothing about her history suggested she would become a legend. But history has a way of turning ordinary things into mysteries. Chapter 2, The Final Voyage begins. In November 1872, the Mary Celeste prepared for what seemed like another routine journey. Her destination, Genoa, Italy. Her cargo, over 1,700 barrels of industrial alcohol. Her captain, Benjamin Spooner Briggs. A respected, disciplined sailor. He was known for being careful and deeply religious. On board with him were his wife, Sarah Briggs, their 2-year-old daughter Sophia, and a crew of 7 experienced sailors. This was unusual. Captains rarely brought family on cargo voyages. But Briggs trusted his crew. He trusted the ship. And he believed in the journey ahead. On November 7, 1872, the Mary Celeste left New York Harbor. Sails filled with wind. The ship moved into the Atlantic. And for the next 10 days, everything proceeded normally. Chapter 3, The Last Known Contact. The last confirmed sighting of the Mary Celeste came on November 25. Another vessel noted her position in the Atlantic Ocean. She was sailing steadily. No distress signals. No abnormalities. No signs of trouble. After that moment, she vanished from recorded communication. For 8 days, the Mary Celeste drifted through the Atlantic without anyone knowing her fate. Until December 4th. When fate finally caught up with her. Chapter 4, The Discovery. The British ship Dei Grazia was sailing across the Atlantic when something unusual appeared on the horizon. A ship. But something was wrong. It was the Mary Celeste. She was sailing strangely. Too slowly. Too erratically. Something about her movement felt off. Captain Morehouse ordered his crew to investigate. They approached carefully. Hailed the vessel. No response. They fired signals. Still nothing. Finally, they boarded. And what they found would become one of the greatest maritime mysteries in history. The ship was completely abandoned. Chapter 5, A Ship Without a Crew. Inside the Mary Celeste, everything was intact. The cargo hold was full. Over 1,700 barrels of alcohol remained untouched. Not a single barrel was missing. Food was prepared in the galley. But uneaten. The captain's logbook was still present. Personal belongings were untouched. Clothes remained in cabins. Navigation equipment was in place. The ship's compass had been moved. One lifeboat was missing. But there were no signs of panic. No blood. No damage. No struggle. The ship was seaworthy. But empty. It was as if the entire crew had simply walked off the deck into nothing. Chapter 6, Theories begin. As news of the discovery spread, speculation erupted. What happened to the crew of the Mary Celeste? One theory suggested an explosion. But the cargo, industrial alcohol, was not flammable in that state. Another theory suggested piracy. But nothing valuable was stolen. And there were no signs of violence. Some believed the crew abandoned ship due to fear. Perhaps they thought the ship was sinking. But the vessel was perfectly intact. Another theory suggested a natural disaster. A waterspout. A sudden storm. But no evidence supported it. And then came the stranger theories. Mutiny. Sea monsters. Even supernatural explanations. But none could be proven. The truth remained missing. Just like the crew. Chapter 7, The mystery deepens. Investigators examined every detail. Every log entry. Every weather report. Every witness statement. But nothing explained why a perfectly functioning ship was abandoned. The lifeboat was never found. The crew was never seen again. Not a single body was recovered. Over time, theories faded into folklore. But the Mary Celeste remained. Drifting through history as a symbol of the unknown. Even today, modern researchers revisit the case. Some suggest a sudden panic. Others suggest environmental poisoning. But none of these theories fully explain the silence. In conclusion, more than 150 years later, the Mary Celeste remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in maritime history. A ship found perfectly intact. But completely empty. No confirmed answers. No final words. No closure. Just questions carried across generations. What happened on that deck? Where did the crew go? And why did they leave everything behind? The ocean has kept its secret for over a century. And maybe it still does. If you had been aboard that ship, what do you think you would have discovered? Share your theory in the comments below. And if you enjoy deep mysteries, unexplained disappearances, and forgotten history, subscribe to D Lost Chronicles. Because some mysteries are never truly forgotten.